Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world. I'm DJ Unification, also known as Double Dragon 912, and today, excuse me, I am doing my top 10 favorite NES beat 'em ups of all time. Wow! Now, ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo was one of the first people to usher in beat 'em ups. So thank you guys and girls once again for watching my top 10s. I appreciate y'all. And y'all seem to like beat 'em ups, so we're gonna keep these beat 'em ups going. Keep them going, baby. Keep them going. Yes. Anyways, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10 has to be Renegade. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the cats that made Renegade, if it wasn't for Renegade, we would have never got Double Dragon. The guy, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section, the creator of Renegade, the creators of Renegade pretty much went off to make Double Dragon. And Renegade was an awesome game. Came out in the arcades first, then I played on Nintendo. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot beat this game. This is one tough beat 'em up. It's hard, ladies and gentlemen. And when you die, they just laugh at you. Oh man, I should have. Shoot, I make another top 10 hardest games of all time. I might need to put this on here, ladies and gentlemen. I used to get to the stage. I don't know if you guys and girls remember. There's a stage on there where it just keeps looping over and over again. But ladies and gentlemen, besides the fact that this game is hard and it's one of the first beat 'em ups out there, it is actually a fun game, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all need to check it out. If you got a PS4 and Nintendo Switch, check out Double Dragon Kinokun. And it's on here, ladies and gentlemen. It's called Renegade, and then they call it something else in the arcade. Might have been Kinokun. I can't remember what they call it in the arcades over there in Japan, but it's a great game. Despite it being hard, it's still a great game. Great beat 'em up mechanics for my beat 'em up fans. It's arena. You know, you run around this whole little square. You ain't just going level to level on this, but you just run around the whole arena and you trying to survive. And they throwing everything at you, including the kitchen sink in this game. But like I said, despite the hard fact that this game is actually a great game, and I love it. That's why I come in at number 10 on my list. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 10 has to be Renegade. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 9 on my top 10 favorite NES beat 'em ups of all time has to be Aari Warriors 3. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Aari Warriors is a great beat 'em up, ladies and gentlemen. This game, they actually have an arcade version of this, then of course they ported it to home consoles, and this was an awesome game, ladies and gentlemen. I enjoyed this game. Like I said on one of my other videos, my top SNK videos of all time, I mentioned this game, and what was so fun about this game, ladies and gentlemen, was just like it was a non-thinking game. Pretty much in this game, you play as the Aari Warriors, which are not Bill, but y'all know the cats in King of the Fighters, Clark and Raph. They was in this game, so they took them from this game and brought them to the King of the Fighters series. If you know about King of the Fighters, ladies and gentlemen, y'all know it's an awesome fighting game series, but this is pretty much their origin story. And pretty much these two cats contracted to bring back the president's daughter. They had to save her, and you go through all these this whole mission. You're going through water, all kind of stuff that they throwing at you, just trying to save the president's daughter. I think it's the president's daughter, or save a girl. I can't remember what it was. It's either one of the two. But it's a fun beat 'em up, ladies and gentlemen. 2-player co-op too. You got a friend or a buddy, play through it, man. It's fun. I remember playing it in the arcade, but I don't think I beat the arcade version. I beat the Nintendo version. Like I said, one day I was just sitting down when I was younger, and you know, you got a lot of stuff going on in your life, and I just enjoyed this game. It was a great escape from the real world. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, you need those escapes from the real world. The real world can do some crazy stuff to you sometimes. Sometimes you just need a clean escape, and you want a good escape. grab your friend, grab your girlfriend, fellas, or your wife, or whatever, or ladies, grab your boyfriend, or grab your husband. This is a great co-op game to play too. Not only is it a good beat 'em up, it's a great co-op game to play. But ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 9 on my top 10 favorite NES beat 'em ups of all time has to be Aari Warriors 3. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving this countdown along, baby. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 has to be POW, Prisoners of War. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the Nintendo version or the arcade version. You can't go wrong with either version. Both of these games are great. I remember playing this in the arcade. In the arcade, it's 2-player co-op, but, you know, they had to shrink it down when it came out to the Nintendo. And, you know, they made it 1-player. And this is a tough game, ladies and gentlemen. It has some good music. My SNK POW fans, y'all know what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much, basically, you play as, on the Nintendo version, you play as a prisoner of war. You pretty much get captured, and they tell you to break out of the prison and just take down the enemy strong base. And you got to go through some all kind of stuff just to win this game. What was so tight about this game, you can get you a machine gun, a knife, brass knuckles, and it looked pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. And the music was real good on it too. And man, this is a tough game. To this day, I haven't beat this one either. But I love it so much because I used to play a lot when I was growing up, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, it's one of those escape games. One of these days, I'm promising myself I'm going to sit down and play through this one, ladies and gentlemen. Great beat-em-up mechanics at its finest. Man, POW, it's probably a slept-on game. A lot of people don't know about this one, but check it out, ladies and gentlemen. If you can, check out POW, Prisoners of War. Great beat-em-up. Like I said, beat-em-up at its finest. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 8 has to be POW. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, shouts out to all my Final Fight fans out there. This is for y'all. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 7 has to be Mighty Final Fight. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this game right here, ladies and gentlemen, you know, Final Fight, it came on Super Nintendo. And, you know, it first came out in the arcades. If you don't know, Final Fight is Cody, Guy, Hagar. And this version of Final Fight is pretty much Nintendo version of, you know, Nintendo couldn't do those Final Fight graphics. And, you know, they dropped the ball with the Super Nintendo version. Y'all know all about that. That's one of my disappointing games of all time. But, ladies and gentlemen, they kind of picked it up with the Nintendo version. Why I like this one so much, because it's like a, how can I say, a Nintendo tribute to Final Fight. They know they couldn't do graphics like that. They know they couldn't, they didn't even try to do graphics like that. So they made Guy, Cody, and Hagar in a miniature form. And it's like I love that to Final Fight, and it's pretty tight, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty much your basic Final Fight story, beat 'em ups at its finest, 1-player. But I understand why they can do 1-player on this, because I knew that they couldn't do it with the Nintendo hardware, so they shrunk it down and made it 1-player and made it its own thing, ladies. It was a tight game. It's a tough game now. Like I said, these Nintendo games, these are Nintendo hard, ladies and gentlemen. These games, like I was saying on one of my other videos, these games will not hold your hand. It won't do that. But overall, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great game to have. Check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember, don't go into it thinking it's the real Final Fight. They try kind of trick you with the mighty time. They saying they real small, but they mighty. Mighty Warriors! Anyway, let me stop being silly. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 7 has to be Mighty Final Fight. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, keeping it moving right along. Moving right along. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we got to do Double Dragon come in at number 6 spot. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Double Dragon on the Nintendo is totally different from the arcade version. When you first play the arcade version, don't go into this game think it's going to be just like it. It's going to be different. Excuse me. It's totally different. It's one player and it's a whole nother storyline. Apparently, in this storyline, you play as Billy and Jimmy is nowhere to be found. But Jimmy is actually the last boss in this Nintendo version of the game. And it's totally different from the arcade version. And they kidnap Marion and you have to go through all kind of crap. They ain't but 4 stages. Don't get me wrong, they ain't but 4 stages, but these are some of the hardest stages you can ever play. And when you play through this game, you don't have all your moves at the beginning. You got to play through this game. It's kind of like leveling up, RPG elements, as y'all want to say. Every time you play and more hearts you get, the more stronger and more abilities you unlock. Because at first you can't do the drop kick, you want to do punch and kicks, but eventually you can unlock the drop kick, unlock the grab them and knee them in the face and throw them over your back. The more and more you play, the more and more hearts you get, you level up your character. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, shouts out to all the people out there that's beat the original Double Dragon. Legitimately now. I ain't talking about, using save states. There ain't nothing wrong with that. As long as you beat the game, I guess that's fine. But all the people that actually legitimately beat this game back in the day, Double Dragon 912 tips his hat out to you. Because to this day, ladies and gentlemen, I have not beaten any NES version of Double Dragon. That's one hard game. I always get to stage 3, spoiler alert, stage 3 where the Bobos come out, and I used to get stuck at that part, and the Bobos used to kill me, and they're like, doo. Y'all know that game over screen, but man, this is one tough game. But despite it being tough, it's a fun game, ladies and gentlemen. If you grew up in the 90s, that's 80s, I'm tripping, late 80s, playing Nintendo, OG Nintendo, this is one of the great beat 'em up to have, ladies and gentlemen. I love Double Dragon. You need to go back and beat it. It's hard. Just because it's hard don't mean I don't like it. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 6 has to be Double Dragon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving this countdown along. We're halfway there. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 has to be Battletoads Double Dragon. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Battletoads Double Dragon is one awesome beat 'em up, ladies and gentlemen. Beat 'em up, tag team, back again. Checking direction. Let me stop being silly. It's a tight game, ladies and gentlemen. 2-player co-op. This game actually came out on Super NES and Sega Genesis at the same time. I was like, wow. Technos was, they was trying to put they game everywhere, and it looks pretty good, ladies. And for you graphics here, y'all like the way it looks. But pretty much, Battletoads Double Dragon is Billy and Jimmy fighting. Billy and Jimmy teaming up with the Battletoads to fight. What's the girl name? Shadow Queen. I'm probably saying her name wrong. Y'all forgive me. Correct me down there in the comment section, because I know I'm saying her name wrong. I can't think of her name right now. But she is hot though. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The queen that you fight on there, and you fight the Billy and Jimmy's boss. I forgot his name. Shadow something. I can't remember his name either right now. Their names escape me. But anyways, you got to fight all of Double Dragon's enemies and all of Battletoads enemies in this game, man. It's a tight beat 'em ups at its finest. You play Battletoads, you'll be very familiar with this system, because it's pretty much the basic same system. It's pretty much Battletoads with Double Dragon characters in it, because Double Dragons, they don't have they regular moves. They pretty much was blended in with that Battletoads system, and I ain't got no problem with that. Great game. Beat 'em up mechanics are awesome. I love it how you can just beat up on folks, and at the end when you beat a boss, you either kick them off the stage, you either knock them into the screen, and it's just tight, beat 'em up fun, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get me wrong now. Battletoads Double Dragon is a hard game now, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go in thinking you're going to just play Battletoads Double Dragon and you just going to breeze through it. Not this game. No, no, no. No, 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 no. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, despite the game being hard, it's a great game to have. And one of my favorite NES beat 'em ups of all time. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 5 has to be Battletoads Double Dragon. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we down to the last 4. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking with me for this long. Appreciate you. Stay tuned. We got some more good countdowns coming up. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 has to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this game right here has some of the best NES chip tunes of all time. I love the chip tunes on here. Great game. Now, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, give y'all a little history lesson. The first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles they made for the Nintendo, it wasn't even a beat 'em up. It was like a side-scrolling hack and slash, and it's notoriously hard. That's one of the hardest NES games of all time, in my opinion. One of the hardest NES games. Not the hardest, but one of. But ladies and gentlemen, Nintendo made up for it. They call this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 the arcade game, and it's pretty much Nintendo version of the arcade game. And y'all know Nintendo can't do those type of graphics. That y'all, if y'all, all my beat 'em up fans out there that played the original arcade game with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that looks pretty good. Still looks good. I can't stand that holding up crap. I need to stop saying that. But Nintendo did their version of it, and they added extra stages to it. They added the snow stage and one other stage that they added to it just to, give y'all a bonus for getting the Nintendo version. And it's fun, ladies and real fun game. Co-op. My boys, Michelangelo, Cowbugger Dude, Leonardo, y'all know all the turtles, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a kid in the 90s and you grew up in the 90s, 9 times out of 10 you either know about or heard about the Nintendo. I'm sure you heard about Nintendo, of course. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. One of the greatest beat 'em ups of all time, ladies and gentlemen. That's why it makes number 4 on this list. Nothing else can be said. I'm finna shut up. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 4 has to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, coming in, ladies and gentlemen, at number 3 has to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I think it's the Manhattan Project. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comment section. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't think that Nintendo was gonna get any better with making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games. You know, part 2 was amazing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not taking nothing from it. But when they made part 3, this one didn't get much credit, because when this one came out, this was the one that came out right before the awesome one that came out on Super Nintendo, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for the arcade, not arcade game, but Turtles in Time, which is an amazing beat 'em up in itself. But this game came out right before it, and this game gets lost in the shuffle. But it's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. The storyline is the Turtles on their vacation in Florida. Next thing you know, Shredder up to no good, being himself. Shredder gonna be himself. Shredder letting you know he a villain. Ain't no doubts about him. Shredder is a villain. He's a villain through and through. And he went there and casted Manhattan, the whole city of Manhattan, New York, up in the sky. You got to go there, save April, and stop Shredder from being himself. he get bored after a while. He be himself, and you got to stop him. Beat him up at his finest. And you ride the waves back to New York, and it's just a fun game. And then the whole storyline and the music on this game is even better than part 2. Hey, man, some of the best Nintendo classic beat 'em up music of all time, ladies and gentlemen. This music I can actually jam in my car. That's how great it is, man. And the storyline, like I said, the storyline is off the chain. Beat 'em ups at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Our boys, Michelangelo, Donatello, and all of them in there just doing their thing. Nunchucks. Each one of them got their own special moves, which was real tight in this game. That way, everybody start getting their own different special moves. They start distinguishing between different turtles. You know, back in the older games, you know, they was kind of similar, but this one where they started being they self. Like Michelangelo had the one where he can jump up off the ground, and Raphael had the one where he spin across the ground. Leonardo where he spin his swords. Donatello spin his bow. Everybody had a different special move. That what made it so tight, ladies and gentlemen. It's a tight beat 'em up, ladies and gentlemen. You got a friend, whatever, team up with them. Play this game. It's fun. I enjoy this one. I beat this one. Love this game. That's why it makes number 3 on my list. So coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 3 has to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the Manhattan Project. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we down to the last 2. Once again, thank you for sticking with me for so long. Coming in, ladies and gentlemen, number 2 on my top 10 favorite beat 'em ups, NES beat 'em ups of all time, has to be Double Dragon 3. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this game catches a lot of flack because the arcade version of this game was so horrible. This was one of the first games in the arcade where it was a pay to play to win, ladies and gentlemen. You had to actually pay to get upgrades. And people were so mad about this that when they made the Japanese version, they took that, they passed it, the arcade version, and took it out of the game completely and just left it in the, the American version. That's why the arcade version of this was horrible. But a lot of folks didn't realize that they made a Nintendo version of it. The Nintendo version was actually pretty good. Hard as crap. Don't get me wrong, it's a hard game. I beat it, but it's a hard game. It will not hold your hand. Let me say that right now. But it's a fun game, ladies. This was the first game where Billy and Jimmy teamed up with, every time you beat a boss, they come with you. Not all bosses come with you, but like the first boss you beat in Mission 2 was Chin. And he's actually on Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons. I'm playing that right now, online mode, off the chain mode. Shout out to Secret Base for making that game. You beat Chin, he joins. Then you beat Rizo. I think I'm saying his name wrong, but he's a ninja on stage 3, and you get he'll join you, and y'all got to go and find the sacred stones. And I think it's different translation, but I think Marion gets kidnapped in this one some type of way. But anyway, just a fun beat 'em up, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can go through all of it, like I said, it's tough. If you go through all of it and beat it, you'll like it. I like the ending to this game, I like the story to this game, I like the mechanics to this game. It's totally different than part 2, but it's a good game. Rough, tough, rough and tough like the Afro Puffs. Hey, let me stop being silly. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a fun game. Always one of my favorite beat 'em up, NES beat 'em ups of all time. Let me be quiet. I done said too much about this game already. So ladies and gentlemen, coming in at number 2 has to be Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones. Bimmy and Jimmy. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, my number 1 favorite NES beat 'em up of all time is, y'all know my name, Double Dragon 2. Wow. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this game, boy, Nintendo, they used to make you earn. If you beat a game on Nintendo, they used to make you earn, ladies and gentlemen. Double Dragon 2 was one of my favorite beat 'em ups on the NES of all time. I never will forget when I was younger. Our dad used to rent this game for us countless of times, and we never could beat this one together. Now, one of these days, I think my mom had rented this one for me, the Movie Gallery or Blockbuster, one of those ground servers back in the day. Man, I miss those things. But mom had rented it, and I used to come home from school. I used to be playing the game, My brothers, they was off doing something else, because they used to play it with me, but they was off doing something else at the time. And I kept trying to figure out how to beat this game, because it was tough. In order to see the real ending, you had to beat it on Supreme Master. You can beat it on Warrior, but you won't get the real ending. And so one of these days, this is before this was figured out. Y'all may think I'm lying, that's fine, but I'm telling you, it's a story from my childhood. I was just sitting up there chilling. I said, what? I wonder if I put it on 2 players, and I started beating up Jimmy. My bad, Jimmy. I'm sorry. It'll say goodbye to my brother Jimmy. Ooh. Let me stop being silly. But yeah, beat up Jimmy. And next thing I know, when I was beating up Jimmy, I was taking his lives. I'm like, oh my God, I'm taking his lives. I got 7, 8 lives instead of 3 now. So all right, let me go through this thing. So I went through the whole game, and you know, Double Dragon 2 will not hold your hand. It's a tough game too, especially them platforming parts, like on part when you get to stage 6. The game really get hard to you. It kind of get hard on stage 4. 4, when it get hard, you got to do a lot of platforming. Stage 4, then stage 5 is okay. Yeah, it ain't that much platform. But stage 6 and 7 are like 2 of the hardest games. Not hardest games. Hardest stages on this game, because you got to do a lot of jumping and a lot of platforming. And so one of these days, I guess I had the force. I went through the game, had all Jimmy's lives, and I actually beat the game. And man, this is a tight ending. I love the ending to this game, ladies and gentlemen. Happy ending. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but it's a happy ending. Compared to the arcade ending of this game, the arcade ending of this game is kind of sad, but the Nintendo ending of the Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, is actually happy. And I enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. Played through it, and I beat it with Billy. And I had beat up Jimmy to get his lives. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a tough game. I had to do what I had to do just to beat it. But I've tried that again recently. Try to do it on my own, you know, like I did in my childhood. Man, I couldn't do it. As far as I could get was stage 6, and I kept dying. Even though I had Jimmy's lives, I still couldn't beat it the way I did it back when I was a kid. I guess I had the force. You know what I'm saying? It got the glow, got the glow, got the glow. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Last drag. Anyway, but ladies and gentlemen, great beat 'em up mechanics, ladies and gentlemen. Double Dragon is known for just like being the grandfather of beat 'em ups. All your beat 'em ups nowadays kind of got their premise off of, you know, Double Dragon. And Double Dragon is Double Dragon, you know. What more can be said? Y'all know my name, Double Dragon 912, so y'all know this had to be on the list. But ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to play these old school games, the best thing I can tell you to do is download or buy, I don't know if they made a physical version of it, Double Dragon Kinokun. That came out on, not only on PlayStation, but it's out on Nintendo Switch too. I know it's a digital version. I don't know if they made a physical version of Double Dragon Kinokun. This game is on there. It got all the Double Dragons on there, the old school Double Dragon, and even some of the, what was it, River City, not River City, I'm tripping, what's the name of that game? I can't think of the name of that River City Girls is based off of. It'll come back to me. I have it going across there. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we got all those games on it. And it's a great collection. I got about 12 or 13 games on it. I enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. But Double Dragon 2 will always hold a special place in my heart because it's one of the first Double Dragon. Yeah, it's the first Double Dragon I beat, and it's awesome. Loved it. That's why it makes number 1 on this list. And ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps it up, ladies and gentlemen, for this rendition of my top 10 favorite Double Dragon, not Double Dragon games, I'm tripping. Top 10 NES beat 'em up games of all time, ladies and gentlemen. Leave comments below, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite NES beat 'em up games of all time. I would really like to know. Thank you, girls, guys. I'm tripping. I'm about tongue tied. Thank you, guys, girls, so much for watching. Stay tuned for more great videos like this on the way. Double Dragon 912 signing out. Peace out.